My dear brothers and sisters, every single night before we close our eyes and drift into sleep, we are stepping into one of the most powerful, mysterious parts of life. Sleep is not just rest, it is surrender. It is a reminder that we are not in control of everything, that our hearts beat and our lungs breathe even when we are unconscious, only by the mercy of the one who created us. That is why, before sleep, prayer becomes the greatest key to miracles. Never sleep without prayer, because prayer is more than words. It is alignment, it is protection, it is an invitation for divine intervention. While you sleep, heaven is awake. While you rest, angels are at work. When you speak your prayer before sleep, you are opening the gates for blessings to enter your night and miracles to visit your tomorrow. Some of the greatest breakthroughs happen not during the day, but overnight. The pain you carry can be lifted. The answers you seek can be revealed. The healing you need can begin, all while you are asleep, because prayer calls upon a power far greater than your own. You may not see it with your eyes, but prayer moves silently, powerfully, and perfectly. Think of this: when you sleep without prayer, you sleep with worry, with fear, with unresolved battles. But when you pray before sleeping, you hand over your burdens to God. You say, "Lord, I can't," but you can. You shift the weight from your shoulders to His. And that's when peace fills your heart. That's when angels guard your night. That's when miracles begin their work. So, tonight and every night after, don't close your eyes without prayer. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be fancy. But it must be sincere. Just a few moments of true connection with your Creator can change everything. Sleep in faith, and you will wake in miracles. Prayer before sleep is not simply a tradition or a routine act. It is the most intimate way of surrendering your life and tomorrow into God's hands. When we close our eyes at night, we are stepping into the unknown, completely vulnerable and unaware of what is happening around us. In that state of surrender, the most powerful thing we can do is place our trust in the Creator. Prayer is that bridge. It shifts the weight of our struggles, our uncertainties, and our desires into the care of the one who never sleeps, who never fails, and who is always in control. Each time you whisper a prayer before resting, you are declaring that you are not relying solely on your own strength, but leaning on divine strength that carries you beyond your limits. This act is not about the length or the eloquence of words, but the sincerity of your heart. It is about acknowledging your dependency on God and giving Him the rightful place of authority over your life. Through prayer, you release anxiety, fear, guilt, and burdens that would otherwise disturb your peace at night. You align your spirit with divine will and open the door for blessings, guidance, and protection to surround you while you sleep. It is a moment of recalibration where you shift from control to trust, from fear to faith, and from striving to resting in assurance. Never underestimate the impact of this nightly habit, because what you give to God before sleep, He transforms into strength, clarity, and miracles when you awaken. Prayer is not just speaking to God, it is giving Him access to work in your life even when you are unaware, ensuring that you sleep in peace and wake in His power. While you sleep, heaven is awake and angels are at work, moving in ways beyond your imagination. Prayer before sleep is like giving instructions to the unseen forces of heaven to surround your life with protection, favor, and breakthrough. The human body rests, the mind shuts down, but the spiritual realm does not sleep. When you close your eyes, battles you cannot see are being fought, and victories you cannot comprehend are being won. Prayer positions you to be under divine covering, so that while you rest, God's power continues to operate on your behalf. Many people underestimate what happens in the unseen world, but prayer activates heaven's attention. It calls upon the Creator to release His messengers to guard your night, shield your heart, and prepare your tomorrow. Without prayer, the night can become a place of anxiety, nightmares, or spiritual attacks. But with prayer, it transforms into a holy sanctuary where God's presence dwells. Angels, commanded by God, stand watch over you, not because of your power, but because your prayer invited His protection. Imagine the peace of sleeping, knowing that you are not alone, that heaven itself is watching over you. This is the miracle of prayer. It ensures that the work being done while you sleep is not left to chance, but to divine orchestration. What your eyes cannot see, your prayer has already secured. What your hands cannot handle while you rest, heaven is arranging in perfect order. Sleep then becomes more than rest. It becomes a moment where God takes over, carrying you, fighting for you, and blessing you through the night. That is why prayer before sleep is powerful. It turns your vulnerability into strength and your night into an arena for miracles to be prepared. Sleeping without prayer means carrying the weight of your fears, worries, and struggles into the night, and that often robs you of peace. The mind replays problems, the heart feels restless, and the body, though lying down, cannot truly find rest. Prayer before sleep is the divine exchange where you release what troubles you and allow peace to enter. When you kneel or bow your head and whisper your heart to God, you are handing over every concern, every uncertainty, and every pain that would otherwise follow you into your dreams. Without prayer, the night can magnify your anxieties, leaving you to wrestle with thoughts that exhaust you even in sleep. But with prayer, your spirit is calmed and your burdens are lifted because you are reminded that you do not have to carry them alone. God becomes the guardian of your heart, taking what was heavy and replacing it with comfort. It is in that sacred moment before closing your eyes that you decide whether you will lie down with fear or with faith. Prayer is not only about asking for miracles, but about creating the atmosphere of trust where fear has no power over you. When you pray, you declare that your problems will not own your night and your worries will not steal your rest. You allow God to stand between you and everything that seeks to disturb your peace. That is why even the simplest prayer, spoken with sincerity, can transform your night. You drift into sleep not with the weight of the world on your shoulders, but with the assurance that you are held, protected, and watched over. Prayer secures peace for the night and strength for the morning, making rest truly restful and sleep a source of renewal. Many breakthroughs, healings, and blessings are released in the silence of the night through the power of sincere prayer. When the world is quiet and distractions fade, the spiritual realm is active in ways we often cannot perceive. Prayer before sleep is like planting seeds into the soil of the unseen, and while you rest, those seeds begin to grow. Countless testimonies reveal that the answers people longed for, the healing they desperately needed, or the doors they waited to open began to unfold after a simple but heartfelt prayer in the night. This is because prayer is not limited by time or space. It invites God to work beyond our understanding, and He often chooses the stillness of night to reveal His power. While your body sleeps, your spirit remains connected and heaven continues to move on your behalf. That is why breakthroughs often arrive unexpectedly. What seemed impossible during the day begins to shift overnight. Healing may come gradually or suddenly, but prayer is the channel through which that healing is released. Blessings you never imagined can be prepared for you while you are unaware, because prayer allows God to arrange circumstances, touch hearts, and align opportunities in your favor. The night, which many associate with darkness and fear, becomes the very moment where light is birthed and miracles take form. By praying before sleep, you are declaring that you trust God to work while you cannot, and you invite Him to use the hours of your rest to bring forth blessings. Never underestimate what happens when you pray at night, because the unseen breakthroughs are often the most powerful, The hidden healings are the most complete, and the quiet blessings are the ones that transform your tomorrow. Prayer does not need to be long, complicated, or filled with perfect words for it to be powerful. What matters most is the sincerity of the heart and the consistency of the practice. Many people avoid praying because they feel unworthy or believe they do not know how to say the right things. But prayer was never meant to be a performance. It is simply a conversation with God. A short, honest prayer can move mountains more than an empty, eloquent one, even if all you can whisper before sleep is gratitude for the day, forgiveness for your mistakes, and trust for tomorrow. That is enough to open the doors of heaven. What God looks for is not impressive language, but genuine faith. Consistency also carries power, because each night that you pray, you build a habit of surrender, and over time, your spirit learns to rest in God's presence more naturally. A small prayer said daily before sleep is like a steady drop of water that carves a rock. It may seem simple, but its impact is profound. These prayers create a shield around you, strengthen your relationship with God, and train your heart to depend on Him. They remind you each night that you are not walking alone and that divine help is always near. It is not about the number of minutes spent, but the depth of connection felt. A whisper of faith before closing your eyes can carry more weight than hours of worry. So never feel that your prayer is too short or too simple. What matters is that it comes from your heart, and when it does, God listens, God responds, and God moves in ways beyond your imagination, turning even your smallest prayer into a pathway for miracles. When you pray before sleeping, you enter into a state of rest that is built on faith. And this faith becomes the foundation for miracles to unfold by morning. Prayer has a way of aligning your heart with peace, your mind with clarity, and your spirit with trust. Instead of drifting into sleep with uncertainty, fear, or unresolved struggles, you close your eyes knowing that God has heard your voice and received your burdens. This sense of surrender allows you to rest more deeply, free from the heaviness that often lingers in the silence of the night. And while you are resting, the unseen hand of God is working. He is arranging opportunities, opening doors, softening hearts, and paving the way for blessings you have not even imagined. By the time you wake, circumstances may look different, answers may begin to appear, and your soul may feel renewed in ways that cannot be explained. This is not coincidence. It is the miracle of prayer at work. Each night that you pray, you are planting seeds of faith that bloom into unexpected breakthroughs and divine favor. Your morning becomes a reflection of what you released the night before, peace instead of anxiety, strength instead of weakness, and hope instead of despair, prayer turns the ordinary cycle of sleeping and waking into a sacred rhythm where each night is an opportunity for surrender and each morning a chance to witness faithfulness. That is why prayer before sleep should never be neglected, because it carries you into rest, not with uncertainty, but with confidence. You lay your head down in faith, and when you rise in miracles, refreshed and ready for the day that God has already prepared for you.